today we are going to experiment with this large die of the month for August from Spellbinders, the Strawberry Patch dies. I have got a bunch of things I've already cut. The leaves, the stems, let's ignore these for now. The strawberries, like their front layers and back layers, and then the flowers, and also the tiny little rounds that go inside. I have it on the side just a little bit, but yeah, I have cut all these things. You might be wondering why different colors of the outer strawberry die has been cut out. That's because I want to create chocolate covered strawberries. So I want to create chocolate covered strawberries with the same dies, and I want to create strawberries that are like half cut or half eaten maybe. So first let's do the half cut one, and then let's do the chocolate covered one, and that's when I'll explain why there are different colors of these die cuts around here. So the idea I have in mind is, please remember, this is all an experiment, so it might work, it might not work. We are going to have a go at it, and then we are going to see if we like it. We don't always have to use what we create, right? So experiment, yes, that's what this is. So the idea what I'm trying to do here is use distress oxide, which is a very reactive to water kind of an ink, and I just love how it blends. It's just, oh, it's smooth like butter. I love it. Okay, so I have taken the lighter shade of pink. This is worn lipstick intentionally because the inside part of that strawberry is typically lighter. On the outside, I'm going to go for this darker one, which is festive berries. No surprises there. So I'm just going to take just a little bit and then come from the outside in and add my color. And I can go as dark as I want with this one because, yeah, on the outside they're really dark red colored, right? So I'm just going to add a lot of this color, but I'm trying to avoid the center area, because when you cut the strawberry or when you eat the outside part of strawberry, the inside part is typically lighter pink, and that's what we are going for. I think by itself it doesn't look that bad. It could probably pass for a strawberry that is half cut, especially if I do something like, okay, I have this and then I have that, or that's gone back because I tried to eat it. It can pass for some kind of a fruit, but I want to actually make it look a little more like strawberry, and that's why I picked water reactive ink, because I'm going to dab off or pull out some of the color that we added here. So I'm going to go in here, and please note that I have used a paper which can handle water. So this is like Canson, I believe multimedia, mixed media. Why do I keep calling it multimedia? Mixed media paper. I think that's good. And then I'm going to pull out. It has like those almost like sun rays, I'm tempted to say, coming out of strawberry. So I'm going for that look here, and you can add more water if you want to pull out more color from here, and we can experiment. Remember, this is an experiment, so we can experiment as much as we want, and I think I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how that turned out. However, on the outside I want a little more red, just on the outside, and in the middle part I want it to go all the way to the top. And then I also I happen to pull out a little bit more color than I intended right in the middle, so it's almost looking white. So I'm going to fix that by adding a little more color to it. So back to my festive berries first. So going on the outside, coming in, just add a lot more color here, and I think that looks amazing. I could have probably done a more patient coloring with those lines, but hey, it's nothing is so perfect in nature, right? So you get a pass, or I get a pass in this case. To just add a little more pink there, it became too white. So there you have it, a strawberry that is cut open, and I will assemble it with this thing, stem, basically thing, and then add this, and then add that. I love how this turned out. I will probably do another one which is a little more refined, but you will see it in the final cards. Today I don't think I'll have time to create and share the final cards. I just wanted to make sure I captured this, and then later on when I assemble the entire video, you will see how these were used in cards. Okay, that's for experiment number 1. Experiment number 2, please pardon me, I'm going to start my heat gun because I want to do something with the heat embossing. So I have this largest die that I have cut only the outside part from a brown cardstock. I actually didn't have the exact coffee color or exact chocolate color, so I had a lighter color. I believe it will be Desert Storm or something, Nina Desert Storm. I added more ink on it to make it look more chocolatey, and what I'm going to do, and let's experiment with this first. What I'm going to do is on the back side of it, I have drawn, I hope you can see, I have drawn what kind of shape I want for the chocolate to have. This is going to be our chocolate layer. So what I'm going to do is I freehand drawn it. I'm just going around and cutting out just over my line, nothing fancy here. And we can fix it later, we can manipulate it more later if you want, but yeah, I think I like this. So on the back side it's going to be that way. I'm going to take one of my strawberries, and I'm particularly picking the one that got accidentally a boo-boo here. I want to cover up that boo-boo, so this is a great idea. I also found that when there are those tiny little holes at the top, it looks better with something like yellow peeking through. So I have also cut the same layer with another yellow-ish cardstock, and that's going to be my final strawberry. I want to do one more fancy thing because, well, I like fancy things. So sometimes, not always. Okay. So I want to add white chocolate on this. You know how they do those squiggly lines with white chocolate on top, and then there is brown chocolate and there is white chocolate on top. So what I'm going to do is I have white embossing powder here, white opaque embossing powder, and one emboss it pen. I'm going to use this to draw lines, add that embossing powder, and heat emboss it, or heat set the embossing powder. So here we go. Just randomly draw some lines. I think that's enough. And I'm going to add opaque white embossing powder on top. It should stick only to the area where I added my embossing powder there. And I'm going to carefully lift this guy, and you hear that noise? That's my heat gun. So I'm going to carefully heat this and be right back. There you go. There you go. So with this, let me show you the fully assembled strawberry. One moment, let me put this back. So my base layer, which is yellow, my boo-booed strawberry, it's okay, it can be boo-booed, no problem, and then chocolate on top. Isn't it so exciting? I mean, just look at that, it's just perfect. Okay, one more tip while I'm here. I want to have the white ones with pink chocolate on top. I don't have pink embossing powder. So what am I going to do? Let me show you. So just like we did with the previous one, go to the back side, draw whatever you want the shape of your chocolate to be, white chocolate in this case, then cut it out. Okay, let's see how this looks before we go too far ahead. And I think it looks brilliant. It may not even need this, but oh well, why not? Okay, I might just want to trim that just a little bit to make it more beautifuler. And now for the, sorry, my embossing gun, I stopped it. Okay, now for the fun part. I have this pink pen, but today I decided not to use it. It's too pink or too bright pink, so I'm going to use this watercolor. Doesn't matter what kind of pen. I'm going to use this to draw the lines, and then on top I'm going to trace the same lines with my embossed pen, and on top I'm going to add just the clear embossing powder. What that will do is it will only enhance the color that I've added, and that's what we will see. We will see the color from the inside because the embossing powder itself will be clear. I haven't experimented whether I can directly add embossing powder and get it to stick, so let's try that just one time. This is my clear embossing powder. I want to do it only at the bottom. No, it did not stick at all. It's completely dry. So yeah, let's do it with this embossed pen. With that we know it sticks, and because this powder is going to be clear, we will be able to see the pink chocolate or pink color which is underneath. Just drawing these, going over all of them, making sure all of them are covered. Okay, now let's add the clear embossing powder and pick it up. Yeah, now the powder is stuck. I don't know if you can see, but the powder is stuck at all the places. It has also stuck to some of the places I don't want it to stick, but I guess that's all right. I'm just going to clean it up with my hand, no biggie. Or you could use a dry brush, and then we are going to heat set it, and I'll show you what it looks like. There you have it. See, you could just do the coloring and leave it be, but this embossing powder on top, the melted clear embossing powder on top, that actually adds that little bit of shine, and it gives a little bit of texture or dimension, so it takes it to the next level. Another thing you could do is just add the coloring, and when you're completely done, you could add, just on those lines, you could take a fine tip applicator and add like the glossy glue, the glossy accents glue. Or instead of embossed pen, you could use a fine tip, probably glue pen, not the glue, the glue pen, which is really fine tip one. And with that also you can get your embossing powder to stick. Another thing to note here is what I did does not have to be restricted to just lines on the strawberries. If you don't have a particular color of embossing powder, just feel free to color it however you want, and on top add clear embossing powder to emboss it. That's it. So you have got two different types of chocolate covered strawberries, white with the pink. Oh yeah, I'm going to make white with chocolate also the same way, but I'll use brown pen. And then you have chocolate strawberries covered with white chocolate, and you have strawberry that is open or that has been cut. Three different looks from this same die set, Spellbinders Strawberry Patch. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you have fun with this idea, and if you happen to create something with it, don't forget to tag me on any of your social media. Thank you and happy crafting. Bye.